Could you tell us a bit about yourself and your role in your organization?
Marco Navarro-Génie. I am the founder and president of the Haultain Research Institute. The Haultain Research Institute is a think tank. Specifically, we research and publish issues related to landlocked territories. I have been on this for about 5 years now, essentially trying to combat this idea that Albertans and Saskatchewanians should just give up trying to reach newer levels of prosperity because we are landlocked. And lots of people seem to be not necessarily sympathetic to the idea, but accept the argument all too willingly. And there is a couple of ideas underneath that. One is that countries or territories that have access to tidewater are more prosperous, which is only partially true because the poorest countries in this hemisphere, for example, happen to have tons of access to tidewater. And if you look at places in Europe like Switzerland or, say, Austria, happen to be some of the richest countries in the world, which are landlocked. And so clearly the connection isn't a necessity. The actual thing that influences whether countries are rich or poor, even when countries have lots of natural resources, is the policy framework, is the ideas that power the people who run the place. Venezuela, for example, tons of oil is a basket case. And so we're trying to promote ideas that work for landlocked territories.
How can Alberta and Saskatchewan increase prosperity as landlocked provinces?
Well, we have to push against this idea that other jurisdictions surrounding us can block our products. So access to markets through, of course, roads, air, and water. We don't have any problems through air. We have some problems through roads, but the main problem is, of course, construction of pipelines and access to markets for our oil and gas. That seems to be the largest one. And so not the single purpose of what we do, but certainly a robust part of what we do is advocate for the necessity of these sorts of vehicles.
What key steps can we take to expedite the expansion of pipelines toward tidewater?
Regulation and policy. I mentioned yesterday that we want to engage in a study of the experience in Kazakhstan, also a landlocked state, producer of oil and gas. And in the 30-some years that they've been independent, for example, they have managed to build pipelines to the four corners of the country, going every which way. And so how is it that a brand new country, nearly, in what I would consider the most hostile territory in two things? There's a very hostile natural environment. So pipelines out to the Gobi Desert to go to China is incredibly difficult. And B, politically, the neighborhood is impossible. Iran, Afghanistan, Russia, all these places where you would think is very difficult to do business. And yet we have our sister province to the west blocking us, our cousins in Quebec blocking us. That's an issue of the neighborhood and an issue of policy and an issue of ideas. So how do we change that? We need to change the policy environment and we need to change the political environment.
How do you like to unwind and have fun?
I have two young children. They keep me young. I love to spend time playing with them. They love, for example, tobogganing, playing hockey, swimming, and that sort of thing. So I like to spend time with my children. I like to read. I read lots of fiction, and I spend lots of time in the mountains.
What's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
Haultain.org is our website, and that's probably the easiest way to do it.